What's up, y'all? I got a real cool video for y'all today. We're going to be talking about the 20 pesos, the 20 pesos gold coin. I have two of them with me today, but before I get into those two coins, I want to give y'all a brief history of the coin and go into kind of what made me do this video. All right, so for starters, this coin is this coin is, as of right now, known to be 90% gold. Um, I'll get into this a little bit later, but also is known to be 10% copper. So 90% gold, 10% copper. It's about a half of ounce of gold, exactly 0.823 ounces to be exact. Initially, this coin was minted in by the Bank of Mexico from 1917 to 1921. They paused the mintage all the way up until technically 1960. They began to release it again, but from 1959 to 1971, they printed, they minted coins that had the year 1959 on it. So for 1959 itself, there was about 1,300 coins minted. From 1960 to 1971, there was about another 6 million coins minted into circulation. They came back again from 2000 to 2009 and began to mint more of the coins. I'm not sure exactly how much they did between 2000 to 2009, but the reason that I ended up doing this video is because I came across two coins that look slightly different. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. I came across these two coins. I hope y'all can see. This one, yeah. This one has, let's see here, let me zoom in, a slightly copper tinge to it. This one has a slightly, and it may just be because I'm looking at them so closely, this one has a slightly greenish tinge to it. So hopefully this will focus in for y'all. Slightly green, slightly copper. Not only that, excuse me, these coins have writing on the side. Can you guys, I don't even know if you guys can see this. These coins have writing, not on the faces, but they have writing on the sides of them. And I've noticed that the writing is flipped on one of them. So the writing is different and the coloration is different. So this led me to wonder whether or not I had one of the restrikes of the coin, which I would assume to be kind of valuable. Not the restrike, but one of the originals. If I had one of the originals, I assumed that would be valuable compared to the restrikes. And the restrikes for this 1959 coin is super common. Like I said, from 1960 to 1971, all the coins said 1959. From 2000 to 2009, all the coins said 1959. And doing my research, I came across this article from Collectors Universe. It's from, let's see here, 2009. I came across this guy who mentioned that he had a coin that was greenish in color. He talked about slightly different letteration, changes in the letter on the coin. I did notice a slightly difference in the lettering, but one of the coins I feel like is from a older year, so it's kind of a little bit harder to see the slight differences that he's mentioning and to be able to point those out as an obvious difference between the coin. But like I said, I did notice that on one side the letters were flipped upside down. Let's see here. He said that the second coin was paler in color. All right. So in going through this, through the rest of this form, I didn't find anything that was an exact answer. I did find other people who had like sent in or tried tried to contact the Newsmatics Guarantee Company, the NGC, to see, and they're huge, one of the main grading companies for coins. So people have tried to contact them, and the company has told them that they are not able to tell the difference between the restrikes. So that led me to thinking more. How would it be that a company that majors in grading can't tell the difference, but I see an obvious difference between the two coins? Once again, this one is slightly copper. This one has a slightly greenish tinge to it. And not only am I seeing it, this guy in this article back in 2009 also saw it. So I started doing more research, started putting things together. That's how I found out the dates in which the coins were produced and all that good stuff. And then it hit me. These coins, number one, are 90% gold, 10% copper. In the early 1900s, would it be possible for some of the copper to have or gold to have other impurities, causing it to be more green? That was the first thing I thought about. So I was like, maybe I have a restrike. But once again, these major coin grading companies are not able to tell the restrikes. So I was like, maybe I'm onto something, but maybe I'm still not exactly where I need to be, being that these major companies can't do it. Got to thinking a little bit more, got my head spinning a little bit more. I found out that the actual presses, I don't know the name of the machines, but the actual presses that they were using to make these coins never changed. The press stayed exactly the same, which led me to this conclusion. And this is the reason why the grading companies can't tell the difference. From 1959 all the way to 1971, all of those coins would have been exactly the same. Exactly the same, including the restrike. Exactly the same. Nothing different, including the restrike, being that all the same stuff was used. The newer coin, however, would more than likely be different. So that led me to figuring out, okay, bang, I'm not going to be able to determine whether or not I have an original or a restrike, but I can determine more than likely whether or not I have a restrike or an original that was produced between 1959 and 1971, and a restrike that was produced between 2000 2009. And of course, the 1917 through 1921 range was all out of the question because both of the coins say 1959. So, in looking at the coins closely, I noticed that first off, the one that had the copper look on it, the one with the copper look, looked a bit older. So I got to thinking, hey, maybe the one from with the copper look is older. Maybe the newer one has the green tinge to it, right? Makes perfect sense. The new one particularly might have the green tinge to it. And going back to this guy's article, he said that the first one that had the greenish looking color had a satin shiny luster. So being that it had a satin shiny luster, mind you, I told you the newer restrikes were produced between 2000 to 2009. This article was produced in 2009. More than likely, the green coin that had the satin shiny finish that he mentioned would have been a newer restrike, which was also probably why the letters were super crisp on the one that he saw that had the shiny lusty color. More than likely, the one that was paler in color, which is why it would be pale, which is why it had massive polished lines and imperfections on it, was more than likely the older coin. So I came to the conclusion that I do not know whether or not I have original or a restrike, but I do know that I have a coin that was produced with a copper tinge that was more than likely produced in between 1959 and 1971. And I definitely do have one of the newer restrikes that was produced between 2000 to 2009. So if anybody's found a way to determine which ones were actually produced, or I guess you would have to have some type of paper trail to actually prove that you have a original 1959 coin. But with that information in mind, I would just take it as basically if you have one of the ones with the copper tinge, just take it. I guess you can still consider it to be a restrike, but just know that it was produced between 1959 and 1971. If you have one that was that has um the greenish kind of gold color to it, they're super bright. More than likely, it was produced between 2000 and 2009. And of course, if your coin has the dates that are listed between 1917 and 1921, you have an original that was produced between those years. Unless, of course, you have an inauthentic coin, and in that case, you have a completely different issue. But with that being said, if you got some information out of this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you like the 20 pesos, the 20 pesos coin, make sure you leave us a like down below. See y'all in the next one.